Okay, today's handgun is a Taurus 605. This is no poly protector. This is the Taurus 605 in stainless steel. Have it in a tactical Scorpion. You should call this a pancake holster with a thumb brake strap on it. I picked this holster up on eBay used. It doesn't seem to be worn that much. It was scuffed up a bit when I got it. I don't think I've done any damage to it since I've had it, so this is kind of how I got it. And I don't know, it was like 23 bucks, something like that. Seems to be a lightly used holster, and that is exactly the kind of holster I want to have for this kind of gun. Open it up, just show that it's empty. This holster being outside the waistband, I am really not comfortable trying to carry revolvers inside the waistband. I've tried it, don't like it at all. So I've gone to outside the waistband holsters for revolvers. If you got a slim 9mm semi-auto, yeah, inside the waistband works for me. Not with revolvers, not with that fat cylinder. It doesn't work for me. This is what I'm using. They're not as convenient to put on your belt. Having to run your belt through these loops every time is kind of a nuisance compared to just clipping on a Kydex holster that's inside the waistband. But this is what's most comfortable and still gives me a reasonable amount of concealment. For me, this does not conceal as well as a inside the waistband 9mm, but I guess other people have other experiences. So the Taurus 605, on to the star of the show. So I wanted a revolver. I ended up getting a Smith & Wesson used Model 36, the little Chief Special. Very similar to this, actually a tiny bit smaller than this, but that's just a 38 Special. This one's 357. So I had this Smith & Wesson 38 Special, and it was great. I loved it. Had it all fixed up, and I think I'll show that in a later video, where it was when I bought it and then what I did to it. And I was real proud of what I had done. Other people will probably say it's a monstrosity, but I was proud of what I had done, and I liked it, and I carried it a little bit. Carried it for a little while, but I took it to the range one day, and it jammed on me to the point where I couldn't open the cylinder. Figured out what the problem was. I fixed it, but my confidence was kind of wrecked for that handgun. It's old. It was an old gun, okay? This one's brand new, or it was brand new when I bought it anyway. That little Smith & Wesson was probably about as old as I am. What failed on that one was there's a little, and for the Taurus it looks like this is all one piece, but on the Smith there's a little ring that goes right around where the firing pin is, and that had peened out from the firing pin hitting the other side of this piece of metal. It had peened out, and this was like a little volcano shape, a little eruption. A little pimple had formed right where the firing pin comes out, and that little bit of raised metal was rubbing up against the back of a casing that was just a little bit had a little bit thicker rim than the average casing in that box of ammo, and so it bound up hard could not pull the trigger, could not open the cylinder. I had to, once I got it home, I had to tap it open to get that back out of there. But I still have that gun, still love that gun. I just don't have the confidence to carry it. Now this one was kind of the replacement to that. I wanted a revolver that I felt was reliable, and you're like, you got a Taurus, you want a reliable gun and you got a Taurus. Look, I'm not a wealthy guy, okay? Had I to do it over again, I might have saved a little bit longer and gotten a Smith. But this Taurus is not half bad, in my opinion. You can have your opinion, I got mine. It's not half bad. It was cheap, it was available locally to me, and I liked it in the stainless. So I went out and picked this up. It comes with a rubber grip. If you've been looking at Taurus revolvers, you've probably seen their rubber grip that they put on them. I replaced that right after the first time I shot it. It just tore up the, what would you say this, the webbing between my thumb and forefinger. Gave me a blister there on my delicate hands that I use for typing all day. So I picked this up. I've used it a few times with this, and this is what I'm most comfortable with now. I probably fire this maybe a couple hundred rounds at the most. This has not been used very much. So don't think I'm an expert on this grip being on here either, but I have used it. It doesn't hurt my hand as much as the rubber grip did. Your mileage may vary, but that was my experience. Now, as far as what else I've done to this, maybe the most obvious thing is this cylinder. I polished up the cylinder a little bit. I didn't go for the mirror finish. I just kind of, the factory was this, I don't know, what would you call this, sandblasted, bead blasted, sort of very flat stainless steel finish, which is nice to cut down on glare. You probably want that along the top. And this is probably a fingerprint magnet, or it's approaching a fingerprint magnet, so the factory finish is not bad. But what I found with it is that it is really good at holding on to all that carbon and whatever other muck is comes out of the chambers when you're firing. So I found that the face of this cylinder was, I'm not going to say scorched. It was dirty, okay? It was dirty, and I had a hard time cleaning it. I used the Hoppies number 9 and scrubbed at it with plastic brushes, and then I went to some copper brushes or brass brushes, excuse me, and I don't know, I just had a devil of a time getting it clean, so I decided I would polish this up. I figured smooth metal is going to be easier to clean than this bead blasted stuff. Is that a mistake on my part? I don't know, but I think it's a good sound theory, so that's what I went with. So I polished up the cylinder, took it all apart to do it. I didn't do it assembled. I put some, I think that was nail polish on the front sight. Went out to my local Walmart and picked up some fluorescent orange nail polish and put that on the front sight, and that just helps me pick up the front sight. And then I blacked out the rear with a Sharpie, and that was just my preference for the way I like to view these sights. And I kind of tweaked it a little bit by hitting black line on the top of the front sight, so that if you're up against a light background, you can see the black. Or if you're up against, I don't know, if you're aiming at something orange, if for some crazy reason you're aiming at something orange, like your target's orange, right? Your target practicing, there's probably some orange targets out there, right? Anyway, if you aim at something orange, there's a little bit of black right on the top of the sight, so you can pick that up even if you're aiming at something orange. Now, if you're aiming at something black, then the orange that's right below it, you can pick up on. Is it going to change your point of aim a little bit? Yeah, barely. But that was my idea. Get high contrast on the front sight, and then no matter what you're aiming at, whether it's something light or something dark, you'll be able to pick up one of those 2 points on the front sight. That was the idea. And blacking out the back sight with a Sharpie, probably not a great way to do it, but it does work. So there's your sight picture. This does have the lock on the hammer. I used that once when I first got it. I just wanted to see if it was something that was gonna turn too easily. It didn't seem to, so. I just don't use it. I just leave it alone. Anyway, that's a Taurus 605. It's a good revolver. Happy I have one. That's all, folks. Have a good day. Bye.